Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to Movie Files. You got Elliot, you got Morgan. We are here to give you guys our review for the Netflix big budget $90 million film Bright. So we are here to give you our thoughts. Thank you guys for watching this video, clicking the video. Hopefully subscribe to our channel. But we are about to get into our review. Alrighty, so if you guys have seen our videos, you know how we do this. We like to talk about some main points, which is the characters, the story, the director of the film, but also the future of Netflix as far as their big budget film. So before we kind of get into that, let's talk about the package. So we saw the trailer, we saw who was involved. You have David Ayer, who's directing it, who has some hit or misses, you know, Theory, you have In the Watch, but for those great films, you have a Suicide Squad, and you have some other stuff that I'm not a big fan of. But then you also have a writer, Max Landis, who, if you guys are familiar with, has some good ideas. You know, Chronicle, great movie. American Ultra, didn't see it, but I've heard some good things about it. Victor Frankenstein, not the greatest, but I mean, the guy has good ideas, and this was a good idea. On paper, you read the synopsis, you got orcs, you got humans, you got police, you got fairies. I mean, it just sounded
Elves.
really cool. So, you know, we get the basic story, and I'm thinking initially, this is gonna be a good movie. What did you think when you initially heard the pitch and you heard everything that was involved?
The first time I saw it was actually someone had shared it on Facebook, and I was really excited to tell Elliot because he loves Will Smith. And plus I was like, Will Smith on a Netflix movie? That's really
Netflix
cool.
Is doing some big things.
So I mean, I thought it was cool. I thought the concept of it was a story that should be highlighted, and I was excited to see Will Smith in it. So
I mean, we can talk more about the story. So you have these two police officers, Daryl and Nick, who you have Will Smith's character, who's Daryl, older cop, been in it a while. He's one of those cops is originally when he became a cop, he wanted to save the world, but as the years go on or as the crime builds up on him, he wants to retire soon. Then you got Nick's character, who new, excited, wants to be a hero, but he has some baggage. He's an orc who's not accepted by the police academy or the LAPD. He's not accepted by his own kind, which are orcs. So
pretty much everybody hates him.
Right. You have a pretty good dynamic there. On paper, you have a good dynamic, and then more in the story, you have, you know, they come upon this scene that they get involved in. There's a wand on site, and you have people wanting this wand. So I mean, again, on paper, this should have been a home run.
It could have been good,
but it was more of a bunt to me, or a foul ball. So, and we'll get into that later. But as far as the characters, again, I think Will Smith, you guys don't know it because I haven't told you this, but I'm a huge Will Smith fan. I mean, literally, growing up in the 90s, I'm a 90s kid. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Martin are like, those are my shows growing up.
Right.
And then movie-wise, I mean, you got Bad Boys, which I love. You have Men in Black. You have other great movies. You know, I like I Am Legend, I, Robot. I mean, Will Smith is just a great actor in my opinion. So I'm always down to watch a Will Smith movie. And then you have Joel Edgerton, who's a great actor. Didn't like It Comes at Night, which is his most recent film, but I like him as an actor. You know, movies like The Gifted that he directed. I mean, he's a great actor. Some people are pulling for him to be the next Wolverine. So, I mean, they have a great package with this film. So, these characters, I would say, and this is good and bad. I think there was moments that they had good chemistry on screen together as far as Daryl and Nick, but then there was some really questionable scenes and just dialogue was just horrendous for me. I mean, what did you think about the main characters and also just supporting characters?
I just think throughout, all characters kind of lacked chemistry to me. I don't feel like they meshed well.
Which is weird, which I'll talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so even, I mean, Will Smith has a family, he has a wife and a kid, and like, I didn't even feel like they were his wife and kid. It was like weird. It was like
they just pulled him off the street and was like, just pretend to be his family for one scene.
And then him and his partner, like, I just don't. I mean, obviously, you are going to have some tension, right? Because of some situations that had happened, and he's an orc and he's a human and whatever.
There's some beef
but like, they tried to do some funnies and they just fell straight flat to me. And Will Smith is like, to me, I mean, I don't know him, but he like seems like a naturally funny guy. He's pretty naturally funny in his movies, I think, but like, it just wasn't funny. It was just like awkward.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the characters, I think, like Morgan just said, it was just some moments where it worked to a degree. Some of their moments on screen, but I think, like you just said, there's a lot of times it didn't work for me as far as the chemistry goes. But also the supporting cast, we didn't really get. I mean, you had the villain, Naomi Rapace played the villain, which, if you guys seen Suicide Squad, I think David Ayer does a pretty bad job when he has quote unquote villains in his film. She didn't get enough screen time. Then you have, the magic Fed department, which played a little role in it. They didn't.
There were quite a few villains, really, when you think about it.
Well, I mean, in which they didn't really touch on. There
were
other cops who were villains,
and then there was a gang.
Yeah, that they didn't. That
two sets of gangs, really, of the orcs
really quickly. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know that orc that was in the church scene. That's that's the guy who's the villain or the bad cop in Orange is the New Black. The new Orange which I thought was interesting. He was in orc makeup. Anyway, I mean, the supporting characters were okay. We didn't get enough screen time. And I think that's the bad thing about, or the dislike about this film. There was a lot of rich mythology they could have touched on. Again, this is under 2 hours, so they didn't have that much time, but which I'll talk about later. Maybe this should have been served better as an 8-part series. But I think that the movie lacks on development of the world. Like, you feel like you were thrown in this world, which was interesting. We got to look around, but it was just like there was no meat to what was going on. There's no, like, we're in this world, and it was like we were almost supposed to know what we were supposed to get into. Like, we wanted to know, there's a dragon in the sky. There's dragons in this world. There's fairies.
And then, like, in the very beginning, there's a fairy, and his wife is like, you better go kill that fairy. Like, he kills the fairy, fairies? But then fairies aren't even, like, brought up again. So there's a lot going on in this film as far as things that could have been really good. But I think that which goes into our next point, the director of the film. David Ayer, like I said, he has some home runs, but the last two films, Suicide Squad, as Morgan always brings up, we saw Suicide Squad twice in theater, and it was like really like back to, they were really close together. Like, I was excited. Because he really, really wanted to go see it twice.
And then the more I watch it, it's on HBO. I have the DVD. It's not a good movie. I know there was rumors that he had to write it in 6 weeks. You had a trailer company that cut the film. That's why it's so jarring and kind of just uneven. But David Ayer has kind of just been dropping the ball lately. I think he has a niche. Obviously, if you guys see his resume from Training Day to End of Watch, he likes these gritty kind of.
Yeah, and those are phenomenal movies.
Yeah, but the last two movies, and you also, which is weird, we were talking about the chemistry, he's known to put his actors in this bubble where they have to like each other. If they don't like each other, it's going to play out on the screen in a good way. Like, he didn't have Jared Leto nowhere near the cast, and he wanted to kind of create tension. So he does these things that makes his movie bring his characters to life. But the last two, the characters in Suicide Squad work to a degree. I just wish they were in a different element or a different movie. But
Suicide Squad was better than this for me.
Well, in this film, I think that some of the chemistry, it just seemed like it was just like people were on screen and was just giving us things to say, and it just didn't have it was missing something.
But I think you hit it on the head. It was missing development of the characters and the different, like, that's what I really think had a huge part of it, because you're introduced to these people and you're like, why is everybody so pissed off at this person and that person? It's just like there was no development.
I mean, they brought up a pretty good social class thing. I mean, you had the elves, which are on top of the first class people. You had the middle class with the humans, and you had the orcs. But like Morgan said, they talked about 2,000 years ago and all this stuff. That
there was a war, and
you just didn't get that.
And I remember, like, in the first 15 minutes, I had said to Elliot, I was like, I hope that they do some development, and then after 2 hours, I was like, well, I guess not.
And like I said, I mean, hopefully David Ayer just takes, when he does a good job in his world, in his sandbox, he does it well. But I think he needs to do something a little bit different to really kind of bring back some life and some energy. Because the last two movies, he made it was almost like he makes it a package deal where, like, he has to have a soundtrack to his film. He has all these artists making a soundtrack for the movie. And then he has to have this pretty good, well-rounded cast.
Right.
And then he's focusing on that, and then he just misses directing the characters and bringing a good story to screen. So, I mean, the direction to me was the worst part. It was just, I mean, it looked good at points, but then sometimes it was like, oh, this is on Netflix, but that shouldn't be an excuse. They spent $90 million on this film.
You should, having that big of a budget, there is no excuse.
Which I think that money went towards the talent, honestly. I mean, you have Will Smith, you have David Ayer, who's not a cheap ticket at this point. You have Max Landis, who's new to the writing movies, or not writing, but newer to the writing industry, and he comes with a price tag. You had Joel Edgerton. So, I mean, I think they spent more of that money on talent versus spending money on making the world a little bit more livable. So that leads into the next topic, which is the future of the big budget movie to Netflix. So I mean, they have movies like Okja and Beast of No Nation, but then for every time you have an Okja, you get a Bright or you get a Ridiculous Six. So I think they're hit or miss right now.
Yeah.
I think the next big budget film they have on their calendar is The Irishman, which is going to be directed by one of my favorite directors, Martin Scorsese, and the top elite actors. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. If you guys have seen,
I can't imagine that.
all those great films they put out in the 80s and 90s, I mean, this should be a good film. So I hope this movie doesn't make Netflix nervous to do more of these stories, because I think the biggest thing that I walked away with this film, as we'll kind of talk about our overall thoughts, is the basis, the foundation of a good film is in this movie, which I think I would recommend checking out, but it's just the execution.
Yeah. It was very poor.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had some high hopes, good storyline, good things, good actors, but I think it just kind of fell flat. Again, I think the dialogue, the third act was, we even talk about, there's a lot you could talk about this film, but the third act was terrible, very similar to Suicide Squad in my opinion. Bad third act.
They should have, I think, like, as far as writing goes, we should have gotten more development. And to support this movie being 2 hours, there should have actually been development. If they weren't going to have that in there, they could have shaved like 30 minutes off.
Yeah, there was a lot of subplots that could have been cut out. Like you brought up some gangs. There was a gang that you thought, I don't remember the character's name, Poison. He was brought in and was taken out right away.
They just kept tracking them.
The Elves were so bad. I mean, Elves, if you guys see Lord of the Rings, I love Lord of the Rings. Elves are bad. Badass characters, what I mean. Like they're normally cool. Legolas is good. I mean, Elves are really good, but we didn't, like, what are the Elves? Why are they, we just didn't get, again, I think this movie was like, this is the Bright world. You guys should know elves and orcs.
Well, and even when you think of Bright, I mean, you eventually find out like what a Bright is, but even the development on that, it's like,
I feel like what Netflix should have did was maybe had I don't know how they would have done it. It should have been a series. Exactly. That's what I was going to get to. Like, this would have worked better as like an 8-part series, which Netflix is great at making original series. So, again, I think overall thoughts, with this not being in a theater, I wouldn't recommend this if this was in a theater. I would say, overall, I would say watch it. I would check it out on Netflix.
If you already have the Netflix service,
just check it out.
But like he said, if, let's say this went to movie theater, I would say don't go see it in the theater. Don't worry about seeing it when it comes out, renting it. You can see it when it goes to a free, well, not a free service, but something you already pay for.
Right, which is Netflix. Which
in this case, it works. So I think they put it on the right platform, but it just fell flat for me. I didn't enjoy it. And I'm kind of like at this point where, like, if I'm reading a book or watching a movie and I don't like it, I'll try to shut it off. But I'm with this guy watching a movie, so we had to finish it.
If we're 10, 15 minutes in, we got to finish it.
Honestly, if it were just me watching it on my own, I probably wouldn't have went to that hour and 57 minutes.
Yeah, which we touched on again. I think this would have worked better as a series. Yeah, they're talking about making a sequel. Which
I don't think they should.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to shut that down.
Yeah, right? I mean, Will Smith is apparently signed on to do a sequel. I mean, he can't do a sequel to Independence Day or some other movies like I Am Legend. I wish he did a sequel to, but he wants to do a sequel to Bright.
Upset about that.
Yeah, so again, guys, check it out. I think it's worth checking out because I think, again, they had a great idea. And what I hope that this movie does for Hollywood and some up-and-coming writers and directors who write good movies and have a good idea, that this is the platform they can make their movie. And
let's just be honest, Netflix has they've stepped their game up. I am just thoroughly impressed with their original content. So they've got good stuff, but you know what? Everything can't be good.
Right. I mean, that's why, I mean, if you guys were following the news, that's why Disney acquired Fox, because they knew they weren't going to, I mean, Disney is Disney, but at the end of the day, like, we have every Disney movie. So how, honestly, will we buy a Disney service? Probably not. Right. But they're going to have to probably bring a Star Wars series to their channel. They have Fox now, so they're going to have all that Fox content. So, I mean, Netflix is the number one right now. So Hulu, Amazon, and eventually Disney are trying to catch up to them. So I think overall, they had a good thing on their hands. It didn't work too well. But again, who knows?
It's subjective. Yeah. Maybe you'll like it.
Right. Which leads us to the final part of the video, which is the interaction. I would love to know you guys' thoughts on this film, this Netflix original movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you interested in seeing it? Again, I would say if you don't have Netflix, this isn't the movie I would say you need to get Netflix because of Bright. Yeah, but if you already have it, check it out.
You should get Netflix for other reasons.
Yeah, like
for sure.
Things.
Yeah, like if you don't have it, what's wrong with you?
But again, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Instagram at Movie Files. And you can also find us on Twitter at Movie Files Live. All that content's right here, so definitely follow us there. But again, we love that you guys watch our videos. We have some awesome stuff coming up pretty soon. We have a review coming for Jumanji next week after the holiday. We'll have The Shape of Water, which we're hearing great things about, which I'm excited to see. And then we're going to do a top 10s list of our movies that we enjoyed and didn't like of 2017.
You'll want to check out mine, maybe not.
And then what movies we're excited for 2018.
Yeah.
So we got some awesome content coming for you guys. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys again soon. And also, happy holidays.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your holiday season, and have a happy new year.
All right, take care, guys. Alrighty, so if you guys enjoyed that video, please like and hit the share button. Also, subscribe to our channel. And as always, watch our awesome content, movie reviews, TV reviews, and also like and share those videos as well. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and we'll see you guys again.